As a coach, consultant, professional service provider, I know that there are days where we just feel like we are a dog chasing our own tail. Here's the question. Is there a better way for us to work less and to make more? The answer is yes, and we're going to dig into that and how to do it with our special guest today. Hi, I am Tim Fitzpatrick with Rialto Marketing, where we believe marketing shouldn't be difficult. All you need is the right plan. Thank you so much for taking the time to tune in. I am really excited to have with me Jordan Gill from System Save Me today. Jordan, thanks for taking the time.
Yes, I'm so excited to nerd out on one of my favorite topics. So
yes,
I'm just super honored.
VIP days. These people, yes. Most of these people are probably like, what the heck is a VIP day? Well, we are going to answer that here in a moment. But first, I'd like to just start with some rapid fire questions to help us get to know you a little bit better. And then we'll jump into all this stuff. So you ready to do this?
I'm as ready as I can be, I suppose.
Okay, awesome. So first question, when you're not working, how do you like to spend your time?
Oh, goodness. So I have a pretty awesome collection of 1,000-piece jigsaw puzzles that I thoroughly enjoy. And I like to travel. I would say those two things are pretty top two of my list.
Cool. So you've been doing more jigsaw puzzles as of late.
Yes, way more. And they've been, selling out now. All of a sudden, everybody else is on the puzzle craze. They were like abundant before all of this, right?
Yes. Yeah, there's been a run on jigsaw puzzles.
Yeah.
Oh, awesome. What's your hidden talent?
Yeah. You know what's interesting? I'm really good at organizing clothes closets. It's a very interesting, like my friends know that I have this talent because if they've seen, my closet or whatnot, and then I go and do their closet, I enjoy organizing clothes closets.
Okay.
And I'm pretty good at it.
Yeah, that's I would not have guessed that was your hidden talent.
Yeah.
What's the best piece of advice you've ever been given?
The best piece of advice I've ever been given is to bet on yourself, because if you're unable to, bet on yourself moving forward in business and life, then how can you possibly expect anybody else to, take a chance on you? So for all intents and purposes, like bet on yourself as much as possible.
Love it. What's one thing about you that surprises people?
I think, most people would be super surprised that I do lean introvert, just because I love building relationships. I love talking with people, and I'm going to go chill out and do jigsaw puzzles and lay in my beanbag chair afterwards.
Yes.
So I think that definitely surprises people because I'm a pretty chatty, like relationship oriented person.
That's just so you know, that's same thing for me.
Yeah.
I tend to be more introverted, but I can get out there and talk to people.
Totally.
What does success mean to you?
Success means to me that you have the power of choice. I think that, people are like, oh, well, success is, these certain things or these milestones. But for me, it's really like, am I able to say, do I want to go to Barcelona or California this year for, vacation? Or, do I want to go with this tutor or that tutor for my bonus son? Like having the power to choose is one of the most amazing feelings. And so that's really how I guess, measure success for me.
Cool. Where's your happy place?
My happy place at home is definitely my beanbag chair. My happiness outside my house is Barcelona. I love Barcelona. Get me with a cup of sangria and the beach, and I'm good.
Cool. My wife and I, the last stop on our honeymoon was Barcelona. It was awesome. Yeah, fantastic place. Yeah. All right, last one for you. What qualities do you value in the people with whom you spend time?
My goodness. I could go on a whole rant on this, so we're going to keep it short. So one of the qualities that I value most is presence. And I think you do very good at this, Tim, is
Thank you.
When you're in someone's like presence, whether it's online or virtual, if somebody's paying attention to you and someone's not distracted by phones and dings and all the things happening, it's honestly like one of the best gifts and qualities that somebody can show up with, because especially in today's world, there's distractions, there's all these things happening. And so I really value when people can sit with me eye to eye, because I'm going to, shut off my distractions and be really
Yes.
focused. And so I really value people who can do the same with me.
Love it.
Yeah.
So tell us more. Tell us more about what you're doing with System Save Me. You have a very unique approach, and we're going to dig into this. But just give us a little bit of backstory there, and then we'll jump in.
Yeah, totally. So I've been in business 5 years. Crazy to think about. It was fast and slow. I feel like that's how most people feel too.
Yeah.
And I am super blessed to have now 8 team members as of last week, and all women, all amazing. And I really am big on, and our mission as a business is eliminating burnout from online service providers' vocabulary. Like, that is the core of our content, the core of our offerings, the core of everything that we talk about. And the reason for that is because, I have a couple of different chronic health issues that I deal with. And so I had to think differently when structuring my business, because I'm not somebody who just is an Energizer bunny and can just like go, 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 go.
Yeah.
I really have about like 6 hours a day of like good, solid, like energy.
I'm doing this.
Right. I'm doing this. And then it's like to the beanbag, to the puzzle, like, I'm done. So it's really been interesting to figure out and to navigate what business models support that. And, we'll get into it. But for me, like, that was VIP days. And I learned about 5 months and going into my business that I was doing monthly retainers and I was exhausted, just like constant work, constantly being needed by somebody, Slack pings, everything felt like an emergency. It was just, it didn't match how I operate just generally in life. And it also didn't match, how I wanted to spend my time and have my life set up. So that's really where my passion, my mission is around how can we stop burnout from even being a thought in somebody's head. Like, it's not even a worry. It's not something that they may have even forgotten, like, what it was like to have been, burnt out before. So that's really our jam and how we help people and what I'm all about.
Cool. I love it. Yeah. So let's talk about VIP days.
Yes.
What's a virtual VIP day? Who are they for? Let's jump into it.
Totally. So when most people hear VIP day, they think like luxury hotel with champagne and like a whole thing, which you totally can do if that's your jam.
Yes.
Right? No harm, no foul. But for most people or some people, I would say that generally is being done virtually, obviously with the current status of the world.
Yeah.
But so a virtual VIP day is where you have a 4-figure offering. And I truly believe that if you are packaging all of your great juice concentrated into one day, it should be at least a 4-figure transformation that you're giving somebody. And then it lasts 3 to 8 hours long, and it helps your client through a 3 to 5 phase transformation. And I use a lot of numbers because I like absolutes, and it makes me understand and define things better. And so again, the numbers are a 4-figure offering that lasts 3 to 8 hours, helping your clients through a 3 to 5 phase transformation.
Okay.
Yeah. And who it's for is generally service providers, coaches, consultants, anyone who has a framework, a process that you're taking someone through, and you maybe do it in 6 weeks, 3 months, 6 months, whatever. And how can we look at that service and take out, the scope creep. So all of the requests that your clients give you that are kind of like, just do this one thing, or can we add this extra stuff onto the contract? Remove all of that, remove all of the client delays, remove a lot of the boundary pushes that happen. If someone's, chatting with you at 3 o'clock in the morning or whatever the case is, remove all of that. And automatically you can cut your services down pretty far.
Yeah.
And then it's a matter of how can we speed up the process? What templates can we create? What questions can we ask beforehand stuff like that. So it's really for people who have that solid transformation process workflow system
Got it.
that you now do in a longer period that you can take and squeeze into the most concentrated version in a day.
So are these VIP days typically done with multiple clients at the same time? Is it one-on-one? Or is it a little bit of both for some people?
Yeah, it tends to be one-on-one, but there are like group ones that are maybe 3 to 4 people. It's really meant to be as close to one-on-one as possible.
Got
And
it.
once you get to, more people than that, then it kind of becomes more of a workshop,
Right.
and whatnot. So that's kind of where I've seen the line is around like 3 to 4 people max.
Okay.
But I have seen it. And some people, work with couples, like married couples. I have a relationship coach who does VIP days, and a fertility coach who does VIP days. And they're obviously working with couples. So yeah, you can kind of mix it up to who your target client is.
And I think you touched on this a little bit, but I want to pull this out.
Yeah.
Does there tend to be homework preparation for the client ahead of the VIP day?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Okay. So they're coming so that you can hit the ground at 60 miles an hour during the VIP day.
Yep. And what's interesting is a lot of folks will come to me and be like, my clients, I ask them 3 questions and they will not send me the answers to these 3 questions. So how could I possibly get my clients to do like 3 to 4 hours of pre-work, which does happen with some people. So I've got website designers who that's a lot of pre-work that someone has to do. They have to give you the copy. They have to give you the plugins you want them to add in. You got to give them all this stuff.
Yeah.
And people do it because when you are marketing a VIP day, you're marketing to people who value time and not money. And how that works is someone's like, I want your dedicated attention for a single day. How can I set you up for success? And it's this interesting thing that happens. And I don't know why it doesn't necessarily happen in monthly retainers, probably just because it's ongoing. And again, there's client delays, there's life delays, there's all sorts of stuff that plays into monthly retainers. That if it's a day, they're like, I want to maximize your day. And a lot of my clients, I don't know, my homework's maybe 1 to 2 hours. And they'll be like, do you need anything else? Like, can I give you anything? Like, do you need more? And I'm like, no, but like, it's interesting.
Well, when people say that and they're asking you that, you have an ideal client right there. They are motivated and they want to get this done.
Exactly.
The other thing I want to pull out that you said that I think is really important is VIP days are for those types of clients that value time more than money. So they're willing to put out the money because it's going to save them so much time in the long run. That's really, really important. So there are multiple types of VIP days. Yes. You talk about 3 types. Let's dig into those. And how do you know which one's going to be right for your business?
Yeah, absolutely. So there are 3 types. The first one is called backstage, and it sounds like it is, which means that, you are not getting on the call with your client on that day. It really is you getting the work done. So think of website developers, copywriters, people who are generally doing a service and they just want quiet time. Like someone's literally just buying your day to go and be great. And so again, those who it's right for would be people who are doing a service and are not big on small talk or can't manage conversations while doing their magic, right? Okay. Or they don't need to, right? I don't want to sit on a call with a website developer and look at the code she's building personally. I will just, pay you for that particular day and you can go off and be great.
Do your thing.
Yeah. So that's backstage. Then we have blended, which is where you're on the call the entire time with your client. That's the one that I do. And again, so that's from, if it's a 6-hour VIP day, then you're on the call the entire 6 hours. And this one is best for honestly kind of any of the VIP day types. So if you're somebody who is coaching somebody, generally speaking, you could be on the call the entire time with that person because you're coaching them and having them go through, your framework. It can be somebody who's doing services. So I do system implementation. And so I'm on the call the entire time. And so we're having conversations sometimes about the system, sometimes about life. And I'm building kind of as we're going along and talking. And then it also could be, something where you do like a live audit of sorts. So if someone's wanting you to walk through, instead of you maybe doing a video off screen and talking through where they have gaps or what you want to suggest to them, you could be on the call with them and walk through their website, like page by page, discuss things alongside with them. So that's a blended VIP day and whatnot. And then the last one is bookend. And again, it sounds like what it is. So it is where you can have a call at the beginning of the day, at the end of the day, or both. So this again is good for really service people or coaches, meaning that if you like want to talk to your client about strategy and then you want to get off the call and go do it, then that's a bookend VIP day. Or if you want to go do it and then get on a call at the end and talk about what you did or go through any feedback, you can do it that way. On coaches, what I've seen is they'll do bookends where the calls are on both ends of the day. And in the middle, the client has to go off, do some reflections,
do work,
the work, the exercises, and then they come back and discuss what came up, right? So that is bookend, and that's who that's for. So backstage, blended, and bookend.
Well done. That was very clear. I get it. Yeah. This is awesome. So how do you take a package or a monthly service and then turn it into this VIP day? Can we, let's talk hypothetically, and then maybe we can do some real world examples.
Yeah, totally.
Cool.
So with, packages or monthly services, you have to naturally, again, pad the service with, delays in feedback or just natural cadences between clients, right? And a lot of times it's response times.
Yes.
And so with that, the first thing I tell people to do is just take all of that out and really look at how much time. Most service providers, coaches know, generally speaking, how much time it takes them to either get through their framework or do their service, because they're either time tracking or, again, they already have done the service so many times. So when we squeeze that out, it generally, depending on, again, what your service or package is, which we'll get into examples, then that brings it down quite a bit. And it tends to be where people end up around the 10 to 20 hour mark. That tends to be what I see. So with that, we take the 10 to 20 hours and we look at, okay, what do we need to pull out and create an asset, is what I call it, to speed up the process. So for example, instead of, maybe you do an email sequence for a funnel, like you build funnels for your VIP days. Instead of relying on your client to know what to write in their funnel, headlines or subject lines to use, et cetera, like have literally an asset that is examples of great emails that they can adjust to their own services or products, right? And so that would be considered an asset. So then, again, you can either require that as pre-work, or if you're doing it on the call, the client can write while you build, those sorts of things. And so we go through and we look at every single task that you're doing and how we can create an asset. If we can't create an asset, then it is what it is. But a lot of times we can create a ton of assets to speed up the process. And then next we really look at, okay, we've built what we can build as far as assets are concerned. Now let's look at what questions do we need to ask in order for us to be set up for success. And that means beforehand in our questionnaire. And so, the questions that you ask need to be directly tied to a task. So I see people asking a lot of like random questions in their questionnaire just for fun. And that's cool, but also not productive. We want every question to be tied to a reason, an actual task that is going to be happening. So that way, again, you are thinking about, if I am doing a systems build, for example, I will ask, instead of asking, what software do you use in your business? I actually ask, what software do you use in your business? And then I have email marketing software, payment processor, social media scheduler, project management task thing, like all of, I lay it all out so that they don't have to think and they just fill it in, right?
Yep.
It's a much easier question to ask than what software do you use in your business? Like I couldn't even come up with a list of the software that I use.
Too broad, right?
Right.
We
Exactly.
need to hone it in, give them that checklist.
Yes.
And so this goes back to what we touched on before. You're gathering that information ahead of time that you're going to need.
Yes.
So that you hit the ground at 60 miles an hour when you're on that day.
Exactly. You don't have to go back and forth and ask a lot of questions because they've already been preempted.
Yeah.
And then the last thing that we do to again, take the package and monthly service. So when we've done those two things of questions and assets, a lot of times we're able to slim that bad boy down to about, again, that 3 to 8 hour mark. And so what happens then is looking at what is the deliverable that you're going to give your clients. And a lot of times it can be more than one deliverable. So a deliverable can be just the call recording, time-stamped, probably. It could be you do extra tutorials at the end of the day, depending on how you obviously structure your day, what type you're doing. So you could build tutorials for the client. You could have them walk away with, again, maybe if funnel building VIP days, I've seen people who will then share like an ads, video course or checklist or something like that to help them then set them up for success for what's to come after the VIP day. So the deliverables is really how can you set up your client for success to continue to use and enjoy what has been created or done for them during the actual VIP day.
Got it. So it's not just the deliverable of the finished product.
Yeah.
It's the additional tools they're going to need to take that deliverable and be successful.
Exactly. Yeah. And especially for like systems builds, like you definitely want to have tutorials as part of your VIP day, because the biggest thing is what's going to happen if I need to change something or I have to need to update my services or stuff like that. And it's like, well, I don't want you to come back to me and have to rely on me for that. This is how I can prepare you to do that on your own, or have your VA do it for you or whatever the case is. So it's just really thinking about how your client can maximize what it is that you've created or done for them.
Got it. Very cool. So do you have even one example of just hypothetically, this person is in this business and how what did they do for their VIP day?
Yeah. So I like to give the example of a relationship coach. She helps married couples with their communication patterns. And generally both people in the couple are really like high achievers. So she works with them in a bookend capacity. And so she gives them the pre-work beforehand, which is a lot, and then they do it separately. So the two people in the married couple, they do the pre-work separately and both give it to her. So it's not just one questionnaire, it's both. Okay. And so then they come to the call and they do about 90 minutes to 2 hours of connection building, figuring out again what the underlying issues are, et cetera. And then there's a period where, again, they go off and journal separately again. And they go through her prompts. So again, she's not saying, go off and journal. She's saying, here are the questions you need to ask yourself. Like set a timer with music and light a candle or like go outside or wherever you feel like you're going to get like really deep and introspective and then come back. Right. And so again, it's about thinking through what is going to help them speed up the process. So prompts are really big for coaching type containers. So when they come back and at the end of the call, they really discuss, okay, what is our plan moving forward? What do the next 90 days look like so that we can communicate better? And so while they're doing their exercise, she's already kind of starting the planning process or creating the plan for them to take and go be great with. But they also are kind of co-creating that plan together at the end, if any, adjustments need to be made, et cetera. And then for post support, she does give them a month of, I think it's a month, 60-minute call or a 30-minute call. I don't remember how long the call is, but a call a month after that is pretty short, and it's just like, how are things going? Do we need to adjust the plan, etc.? They
Got
adjust
it.
the plan if needed, and then that's when the VIP day container in general is complete.
Is done.
Mhm.
And I'm assuming before she did this VIP day concept, it was more of a
6 months.
weekly hour-long coaching
Yeah.
call for a certain period of time.
Yeah.
And so this is drawn out over a month, 2 months,
Yeah.
3 months. Instead, she's dwindled that down to, a month's time. And
Yeah.
most of the work is in one day.
Yeah, exactly. And I think too, with making that adjustment, it really, people think of it this way too, with couples specifically, but honestly, anybody, they're able to, get a babysitter or drop them off at grandma's house or whatever the case. And the
Yeah.
couple's really able to focus. Like when you're doing things again monthly, like a lot of times there's kids in the background,
Yes.
distractions, dogs barking, all the things. But when you are able to dedicate a day, most people can make arrangements to where you are really focused and present with each other. And you're able, with that focus container, you're able to get deeper and go further because all the distractions and madness of the life is eliminated.
I also think that focus works in the favor of the coach, consultant, professional service provider too, because rather than us jumping from, I'm working on this project today. Oh, wait, I'm done with this one. I'm jumping to another one. It really allows you to dig deep and be 100% focused on that, rather than, because when we jump from one thing to another, it takes us, 10, 15 minutes to really get into that.
Exactly.
So that focus is beneficial on both sides of the equation.
Totally. Yep.
Yeah, this is awesome. I have gone to school, so thank you for that.
You're welcome.
I really appreciate that. What any last minute words of wisdom you want to share or leave us with?
Yeah, I think people. One of the bigger challenges that I see people have with VIP days is trying to do too much. They think I have to. I can't possibly just do, for example, like client management systems are like onboarding, management, and offboarding. If I wanted to, my VIP day could just be onboarding. And that's still a really amazing transformation for somebody.
Yeah.
And so I think a lot of people think they have to stuff an entire situation into a VIP day. And you can do, your full A to Z transformation. But also if there's a part of your transformation that you really enjoy or you get the most raves about your clients, then you could potentially just take that portion and do that as well. Because I think people, when they hear one day, they think, oh my gosh, I have to make this like the most impactful day. And most impactful means I have to do so much in order for it to be what I want it to be. And that is not true. VIP day clients like simple. They like clarity. They do not like overstuffing and trying to just give as much as you possibly can, right? That's not what we're trying to do. We are trying to move through a transformation in the clearest, most streamlined way possible so that your client feels supported the entire time and not like they're, drinking from a fire hose, as they say.
That also goes back to what you touched on before, that they value time more than the money. So they're okay with paying more to get that value, that time back in that single day. So
yeah, exactly.
Awesome stuff. If people are interested in how to put together a VIP day, they want to work with you, where's the best place for them to go?
Yes, head on over to our website. We have tons of different options like freebies. We have a quiz. It's literally all on our website. So you can go and check out what works best for you. Our quiz is all around what type of VIP day should you create. So those 3 types I shared, we have a quiz that helps tell you which one will work best for you. And then lastly, obviously, since y'all are podcast listeners, you can go and check out System Saved Me. And that's on any podcast platform that there is, from my understanding.
Cool. So check out System Saved Me podcast. Head on over to Jordan's website, which is systemsavedme.com.
Yep.
I have never met anybody that's doing anything like this. So if If you have an interest in this, Jordan is the professional. You've done this with hundreds of people. So head on over there and do it. If it resonates with you, I know it'll change things for your business dramatically. So Jordan, thank you for taking the time and showering us with your wisdom today.
Yes, absolutely. Thanks so much for having me, Tim.
Yes, awesome. Well, listen, thank you so much for tuning in. Again, I'm Tim Fitzpatrick with Rialto Marketing. If you want to gain clarity on where to focus your marketing efforts right now to get the best return, hop on over to our website, rialtomarketing.com. That's RIALTO marketing.com. Click on the Get a Free Consult button. Guarantee you'll leave having some clarity, knowing where you need to focus right now. Thank you again. Till next time, take care.